Hi, Larry K, ShadowAnyone.com. Today I'm going to respond to an email I got from someone who did their first interview with a subject who was committing theft in a, I suppose, retail establishment. Now, this person has experience with shoplifters. They work loss prevention. If you're not familiar with loss prevention, it's a great, fun job to have. It gives you a lot of experience dealing with people and different circumstances. It's a great step no matter what direction you want to go in this industry. But he sent me, after seeing some of my videos about interview techniques, he wanted to share with me this first internal that he did. And internal theft is a much bigger loss per incident for retail establishments than external thefts. The last time I heard the numbers, the average external theft, shoplifter for example, was I think $86 per incident was the average. The average for an internal theft was $400 per incident. So, businesses are losing a ton of internals. I know when I go in and talk to a company or work for someone, they are really interested in those internals, which are relatively, I don't want to say relatively easy, but if the store has a halfway decent camera system, even just one camera, a lot of times point it towards the register and you can get an awful lot of information, a lot of evidence. So what this person said is he did this interview. The person who came in didn't even want to sit down, wouldn't even sit down in the office to talk with the interviewer, and he's asking me or debating, is there something I could have done that would have encouraged the person to sit down? Is that even necessary? He remained standing the whole time he was there, which, this is a person who's nervous, and given the totality of the circumstances, I mean, he doesn't want to be there. He's battling that fight or flight thing. He knows he did wrong. He knows he's busted. He wants to get out of there. He did admit to one theft, and he was making a lot of excuses about having to take care of his kid, go get his kid, and ended up making a short statement, signed a promissory note, and then left. And basically the question is, do you think him sitting or me standing would have changed the outcome of my interview? Well, I'm going to tell you right now, your interview is successful. Anytime you deal with someone for this type of circumstance, you're doing an interview, or especially when you're what you could arguably call an interrogation of a suspect, you think about what is your one key thing you want to get out of that interrogation. And 99 out of 100 times, you want to get that admission. You want to get that confession. And we love it. There's some jokes about it, I think commonly even. Everybody knows, no matter how hard the evidence is, you still like to have that confession. And to be honest with you, if you've got the person in the office doing an interview like this, you've probably got the evidence. You're just wrapping up loose ends now. I'll give you a couple of tips. First of all, does the person sit or stand? Does it make a difference? I prefer they sit down and talk, but we usually, I like to bring them in under the pretense of it's an evaluation. You've been here a year now, or we're at the 90-day mark, or whatever it might be, and they don't even know what's really coming. They sit down, we talk to them, how do you feel your training was? Well, I feel my training was pretty good. You got the policies and procedures? Yeah. Are there any you have questions about? No. And what you're doing is you're establishing with that person, step by step, that they understand the policies and procedures about clocking in, clocking out, theft, those types of things, passing merchandise to friends. And so you're establishing on the record now that this person understands the rules. They understand what's right and wrong within the company. And then you move forward from there saying, well, I've got a question about this transaction, and you move forward from there. So they don't even know necessarily that you're doing an interview related to a theft. But don't question yourself as far as he wouldn't sit down, he wouldn't stand up. You got your confession in writing. That's a win. If you work for a place that wants to prosecute, and I am a big believer in prosecuting, and the places that I've worked, we prosecuted everybody all the time. That's just a nice little added bonus to have that written confession. So that's a success. Don't think twice about the details in there. Next time maybe you're going to think to yourself, okay, how can I get this person to sit down, or what can I do? Now I will tell you, as far as pacing the person, You know, if you ask them to sit and they don't, then right away they're probably not going to follow a lot of your instructions. And when you do interviews, you can test people with this type of thing too, this pacing. And you know, if you have a cup of coffee out or a soda, and you say, hey, you know, no need to worry, take a sip of soda, and you know, take a breath. And if they follow your instructions like that, then very good. You've got some rapport going, and you can lead them. You know, now tell me, starting at the beginning, you got to work, what happened? And you're leading them into that. The fact that this person was fidgety, antsy, didn't want to sit down, didn't change the fact that you had a very successful interview. If you have any questions or comments, leave them in the replies and comments. I will answer all of them that I can. Again, this is Larry K. with ShadowAnyone.com. Remember, do the right thing, even if it's the hard thing.